there's also a struggle, I think, that goes along with trying to appease your parents, because that when you do try and appease them, or you do appease them, that stress is lifted off your shoulders, but you never really find true happiness for yourself that
Just
way.
not doing what you want to do, what you love to do.
Yeah, and you'll always be wondering, is there something bigger? Right? So you think about where he is now and the impact
that he's making or has had.
Yeah.
And think about if he was a lawyer instead of the leader of BTS. I think it works well when they want your success to be what you want your success to be in that field.
For obvious reasons, it was painful to watch a boy band from Korea get schooled by a black rapper, especially if you're standing that boy band. K-pop.
Y'all got some explaining to do. Why did she say it like that?
What's up, everybody? I'm Chalfant.
And I'm Trail.
And we are
brothers from another color.
Today we're reacting to something that was just recommended to us about RM. And it looks like the video just came out.
So we could be second because we never first. So.
Never first.
Hopefully we first though.
But in the middle of recording, when you get a recommendation, it doesn't look like people have seen it yet.
You should take it up and react to it.
You should react to it. So this is called Struggles and Hardships of BTS RM.
RM's LGBTQ support, social causes, charities, relationships, etc.
Etc. Yep. And if you're new to our channel, stay tuned. Find out if you like us. Consider subscribing, like this video. All those things that we never really say that we probably should say.
And you do like us.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
And if you're already subscribed, sit back. Let us know if the stuff that comes out in this video is true.
I'm sure you will anyway. Because you probably know more about RM than RM. So.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready to get into it?
Kim Namjoon, or RM, is known as the leader of the most popular K-pop group in Korea. But that's the thing. He isn't just the leader of a successful boy band from Korea. He's the leader of one of the most progressive, revolutionary, open-minded, intelligent, and artistic musicians in the world. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of understanding and appreciation on how RM leads this group, the sacrifices that he makes and the victories he secretly wins, the failures he publicly suffers, and the youth he practically had to give up just to lead BTS. RM isn't perfect, far from it. Like any other person in the world, he was a child once and he didn't always know what's right or wrong. He didn't always have the right answers or the right questions. He didn't always know how to properly act, respond, talk, or probably even think. He didn't always know himself, but he always knew what he loved, music. So let's talk about it. The struggles he went through to get to where they are now and who he is now. The mistakes he made and the lessons that he learned. His past and how it helps to shape his present. The obstacles that he had to overcome and how it shaped him to be the leader, artist, and person that he is now. Well, at least the side of him that he wants us to see. Number 1, disappointing experience in society.
단 1등을 넘어서요. 전국 1%였다는 랩몬스터는
Any Asian would know that expectations come with talents and skills and blessings. Our culture has an attitude of gratitude, and with gratitude comes the obligation to give back. If you have something special, it is because you're supposed to use it to serve other people, not just yourself. So imagine the amount of guts it took for him to tell his parents he wanted to rap instead of study, despite having 148 IQ.
어머니가 이제 아무래도 안정적인 길로 많이 가라고.
To Asian culture, defying thousands of years of tradition and belief and practically rejecting the call to serve is not just rebellion.
Those are things that everyone goes through as kids, and I think we listen to some people who talk about, they say the best thing you can do is try not to appease your parents. Right. Because by appeasing your parents, you're going to let yourself down.
And drive yourself into depression.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Because you might go the safer route like they described. And maybe there are things that he could have done or can do. I mean, he's only 20. Well, I knew he was
29, right?
I don't know how old he is now. I know Jin's 29. Is
he
older than Jin?
I'm just mixing it up because I was thinking about the draft. So yeah, I was mixing it up. My bad.
Yeah. There's also a struggle, I think, that goes along with trying to appease your parents. Because that when you do try and appease them, or you do appease them, that stress is lifted off your shoulders, but you never really find true happiness for yourself that
Just
way.
not doing what you want to do, what you love to do.
Yeah, and you'll always be wondering, is there
What
something
if?
bigger? Right? So you think about where he is now and the impact
That he's making or has had.
Yeah.
And think about if he was a lawyer instead of the leader of BTS.
Yeah.
He probably could have still made an impact, but I don't think it. Well, I'm gonna go on the limb and say I know it won't be as big.
Yeah. And I think even from an education standpoint, when you're a teacher, you kind of impact your classroom. Then as you move out into different roles, you can potentially impact the entire school. So, I mean, comparative to BTS or RM's position from like a school level versus like global level, you know.
I gotta find me something to say when Charlie say, what you say in education?
Oh.
I mean, in education, I'm gonna be like in the field of Chrysler.
Yeah.
In the business of making cars. What Charlie said is correct, though.
No, but it's true, though. I mean, I think some of the quotes we had heard about, you know, trying to appease your parents, like, have those hard discussions early on, or you're going to end up, what's the word? Begins with an R. Where you, like, hate your parents later on because of their...
Wait. You know, talking about resentment.
Yeah, you'll end up resenting them later in your 30s and 40s or even after that.
Because you felt they made you take this path and made you do something you didn't want to do in the first place. And you gave up all, like Charlie said, you gave up all whatever it was you wanted to do to appease your parents.
Yeah, and I think there's an upside to having the, what do they call it, tiger moms? You know, there's an upside to having families that are like that and so dedicated to your success and maxing out, you know, the educational side of what your potential could be.
I think it works well when they want your success to be what you want your success to be in that field.
Yeah.
Or they line up together.
Yeah, because you do narrow it. When you say these are the 4 jobs that you can have, and based on your IQ, you could have any of them.
Right.
Or within, I don't want to say 4 jobs, 4 fields, you know. And it could be a whole slew of fields, right? I mean, he could have been an astronaut or, you know,
right.
I don't know if he's too tall, but, you know, sometimes they have those regulations.
You might be.
But,
whoa there, buddy.
Yeah. I didn't mean to pause it that long, but once they brought up parents, I was like, it sounds like a good place to stop and
No,
talk.
it do for real. It does. Like, it just sounds like how parents or elders force their dreams on who's under them.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I couldn't do, so I want you to be this.
It really is. And I mean, sports always stands out, right? Like, you want to, as a parent, as a dad, and this is true for, I think, a lot of dads, where you want to live your life through your kids. You know, and for him to say, I want to be a rapper, not even saying I want to be the leader of the largest group, you know, to ever have been, you know.
I know that had to be like the biggest parental turnoff ever. Like, you want to be a what?
I know. I'm interested in hearing if he was like cut off or if,
that's what
if he just had to go out and be, you know, that can mess with your mind. And your self-value really and stuff.
Because I imagine, in my head, of course, I imagine him to be a close-knit family. And then it comes to time for him to pick this path, and his parents are picking the path for him.
Yeah.
And he's like, but this is what I want to do. And they're like, what?
Yeah, they're like, no,
not in here. You can't do that under my roof. And he's like, well, maybe I won't be under your roof.
Yeah.
Now, we just foreshadowing.
Yeah.
This probably never happened, but still.
And now he's like, here's a new roof. Or 2.
Or
3.5
million.
Right. You ready to keep going?
Fine, I guess so.
It's arrogance. For him, it wasn't. It was passion. So he gathered the courage that he needed to tell his parents he wanted to rap. And look at him now. Korea isn't the only one benefiting from his genius.
My bad. I just saw he didn't want safe, and I know me and you are the same way, though.
No, and it's hard.
Risk taker.
It's hard once you're a parent because are you willing to risk everything that you potentially already have for something bigger?
Then it comes back to like when you get as you grow older, are you still gonna be like have that regret? Like, I never tried it. I never got to know if I could have excelled in whatever this is.
I know. I feel like no matter what I end up doing, you know, I'm already doing something, but I feel like no matter what it is, I'll always have regrets about doing something, whether
Always,
it's
yeah.
earlier or, you know, people look at money, right? You're like, I want to make $1 million, and then once you make $1 million, it's like, that's not
Now
enough.
what?
You know, I want to do this. So
It's the whole world. Number 2, pressure of millions of dollars for investment. Big Hit built BTS around RM. That's a fact. He was first member, and all other members taken in were hinged on whether or not they will work with RM. Every investment Big Hit made was all because of RM. On the cusp of bankruptcy, imagine how an adolescent would feel knowing you and you alone can make or break an entire company. All employees working there and the families that rely on them. And if you think RM wasn't aware of the magnitude of the pressure, he actually ran away from the group 6 months before debut.
Just some small. You know, every time you hear of a success story like Amazon, Google,
Garage.
in the garage, though,
yeah. See, but in Michigan, you can't do it in a garage.
it's too cold.
It's too cold. So you got to go in a basement.
Where we at now?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you got a basement, right?
Oh, that's messed up.
So
Yeah, I got one though. I'm saying people don't get one.
we got basements. We newly got basements, right?
Yeah,
That new money.
the YouTube money.
Yeah.
이게 제가 데뷔 직전인가?
RM has always been aware and empathetic and sensitive. That is his greatest curse and greatest blessing. Number 3, led guys older than he is. For a country whose culture is centered on respect towards elders, this is beyond challenging. It wasn't easy. 3 of the members are older than he is. Jin was in fact already in college when he joined the company. RM was barely out of high school. He later on admitted he felt he crossed the line a lot and allowed his ambition to dictate his actions.
미안했던 점, 민경한테 내가 미안했던 점.
Even in the face of obvious victory, his humility gets the best of him.
특히 되게 초반에도 그렇고 좀 뭔가 이제 해야 된다는 이제 의무감이나 책임감에 이제 많이 사로잡히면서 좀 이제 그 여러 가지 말들을 할 때 이제 뭔가
I relate to this, and I don't mean to keep bringing up education, but other than brand new teachers, I'm typically always the youngest in the building. But in my role, I have to lead all of those people.
Be the leader,
you
yeah.
know, and there comes a time, you know, to set a tone, put kids first, kind of feel out the staff and see what things are like. But the other piece is really establishing credibility.
Yeah, especially at your age, and then not being the elder. So yeah, you gotta establish credibility.
And that, honestly, that's the only reason for a long time, even now, that I wear a goatee or I let my beard grow out, because I feel like it makes me look older and established. You know.
Charlie, her trying to gain respect.
I know. Well, I mean, the other piece,
yeah.
that's another reason for, you know, seeking out degrees and things like that. You know.
Respect, yeah.
Respect. Put some respect.
CK. RESPCK.
좀 버릇없게 얘기했던 적도 솔직히 좀 있었던 것 같고 어떻게 보면 단체로 얘기할 때 그래서 이제 그래도 형인데 뭐 싶은 이제 그런 생각들.
But if we are to listen to the members, the love and respect they have towards him, it is apparent he didn't simply do a good job. He surpassed all expectations, and then some.
저는 남준이를 참된 리더라고.
I remember some of the first videos we watched. Remember, they were depicting Suga as this not nice person, and
straight face.
You know, they were saying that it wasn't true, and then I think he said that to either Jimin or Jin in the car, and I was like, oh, they felt that comment, whatever it was that Suga said. So that this is the second time that I've seen he's done that. So either that's something that he always does, or if he rarely does it, you know, they really begin to accept it. Like, oh, this is a big deal for Suga to do that.
I think people genuinely love you, though, when they give you words of admiration, though.
Yeah.
Or words of affirmation, either or, though.
Yeah.
When they can tell it to you instead of, like, maybe a message or something, when I can tell it directly to you, like,
I know.
this is how I feel or what I think about you in this.
And it's hard to do that.
It is.
I mean, even as dads and husbands in a relationship, it's hard to do.
It is.
Because it's easy to, I'm going to do it through gifts or flowers or letters or text messages. But
What could be
when
better
you can pause in the moment and tell them that verbally, you know.
look at them, hold my wife's hands.
But it's something you just got to work on every day, you know. I think Trail might do it better than I do in person.
In person, yeah, I do. In person, I will say I do.
Because I could sit down and write a good text message if I need to
Yeah.
express myself.
Yes, sir.
Or an email back
The
to...
best. Yeah, you the best. You the best.
이야기하는 거지만 중간에서 이렇게 조율을 하는 거는
A cute smile. Let
그런
me see.
사람이니까
Look.
He was
가수로서
그래서-
아니면 그냥 사람으로서 아는 형 동생으로서도 닮은 점이 너무 많은 형이고 물론 자리도 리더이기도 하지만 똑같이 한 멤버라고 생각이 드는데
This might be the first time I've heard Jimin talk.
yeah. And he looked different than I would see him now, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I because we don't ever... I know I'm reading that next headline too. But, no, we haven't watched anything where they talk other than RM,
Yeah.
you know? So,
But now we got the subtitles so we can
yeah.
actually know.
Number 4, overtly sexual contents. Pre-debut, RM covered and wrote songs containing lyrics which people perceive to be overtly sexual. Expensive Girl and Trouble are two of those.
Take it off now, girl. 라인보다 더 선명한 teddy line. 왜 너만 아래쪽에 있을까 그 free line.
None of the lyrics imply anything non-consensual. Let me just clarify that. The criticism was mostly on the fact that he was talking about sex at all. Let's remember that RM's orientation is rap, and many of the rappers that he was listening to openly talk about sex. At that time, he was 17, and not a lot of education about the true origin of hip-hop.
Just young and impressionable.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
it.
and when you're starting out, you kind of just do whatever it is that you already know.
And listening to rap too? Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's... Oh, I mean, other than... I was going to say J. Cole, but even J. Cole got Wet Dreams and some of the other songs, you know, thinking of rap that isn't explicit.
He's not too explicit, but he is explicit.
No, I mean, that I was saying other than
That's
that,
close
his
to that,
stuff
yeah.
is good.
Oh yeah, and Toby, I can't say his last name. Toby in the Big Way. You gotta listen
Yeah.
to him. You gotta know. But yeah.
Add to this the fact that Korea is still, at
Painful to hear.
least verbally, a very conservative society. He has another song in 2015 called Prometheus. It was a collaboration with a few other rappers. Each one represented one of the 7 deadly sins, and RM got assigned lust. RM has always been an outstanding lyricist, and he perfectly captured how lust can transform a sacred thing like sex to something dirty. But instead of being recognized for his poetry and his artistry, he got criticized for being a pervert. Number 5, owning up to his mistakes.
What?
Big Hit released a statement apologizing for all the mistakes BTS made. But RM didn't stop there. Instead of hiding behind the defense of his agency, RM manned up and directly addressed it. In March 2015, RM did an interview with Hip Hop Laya, and he talked about some of his past issues with cultural appropriation. Here is an excerpt. He didn't stop
Had to
there.
read that,
January of
Tupac.
2017, RM did a 25-minute V Live where he apologized for his past actions and promised that he is doing his best to be a better person.
I still don't like the word that the person narrating used the word pervert.
Yeah, that's
Because if you use like misogynistic lyrics or the lyrics that is very prevalent in hip hop, that doesn't make you a pervert.
that's over. I think pervert was overboard though.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe that was like a word through translation that came up, unless the word pervert was used in news sources.
maybe it's not as hypersensitive as it is. I mean, over here as it would be over.
Yeah.
How
Pervert
they
means
use it.
something very different in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, totally different. Yeah. Might get you beat up.
Number 6, growth. And the apology wasn't just lip service. Aside from his obvious immersion in art, he was growing through the most sacred thing in his life, which is music. Let me get one thing straight. Even before all of these apologies and all of these controversies, RM was already demonstrating his maturity. I'll get into that later. September of 2013, BTS released a music video of their song No, criticizing the education system in South Korea. Being one of the main composers and lyricists, he criticized how the demanding and authoritarian nature of the academe directly leads to the high suicide rates of youths in Korea. This is markedly different from other K-pop groups who avoid all social issues for the most part. He further demonstrated his maturity when he admitted that he consults with several experts on social issues, including but not exclusive to women's rights professors to objectively examine his lyrics.
I remember that.
July of 2016, a famous Korean feminist, Eon, who Namjoon is still friends to this day, tweeted shortly after the misogyny controversies and said that Namjoon regularly meets with him to talk about how he can grow as an artist and as a person. Number 7, LGBTQ support. RM tweeted liking a song titled Same Love, which is a song about homosexuality. May of 2015, RM and V appeared as guest judges on an episode of Star King. One performance is a group of flamboyant gay men. All other male judges besides the two immediately voted the group out. Afterwards, RM and V were asked why they didn't vote out this group. RM said that he was impressed and complimented them in their choreography.
But they keep showing me.
Again, RM demonstrated his maturity. He saw people, artists, not flamboyant gay men. In June of 2016, RM wrote and released the song I Know, which he sang with Jungkook. It is a love song to all of their fans and features lyrics about loving both female and male fans. But what many don't realize is that this song was released a few weeks after a huge controversy about South Korea rejecting gay marriage. December of 2015, RM and Jungkook did a cover of Choi Siwon's Fools. September 2017, RM wrote the love song Serendipity, which is Jimin's solo song. He purposely wrote it to be gender neutral. In Billboard, he said that he intentionally did it that way because love transcends gender. Number 8, becoming a student of their art. July 2014, BTS films a documentary mini-series called American Hustle Life. ARMYs either love this or hate this. For obvious reasons, it was painful to watch a boy band from Korea get schooled by a black rapper, especially if you're standing that boy band. K-pop.
I felt that. Did you feel that?
Man,
Well, she added especially and then said by a black rapper.
that's crazy. A black rapper though? Like what other kind of rapper?
Especially by a black rapper. You want to turn it off?
Cut the lights, man.
Cut the lights. We're
God
out of
damn,
here.
man. Y'all got some explaining to do. Why did she say it like that?
Pop has always been a money-making industry. There weren't a lot of efforts to understand the actual culture of the genre that they are using. This was a huge reality check, and BTS was the subject. Surprisingly, RM seemed to be the only one to recognize Coolio when he suddenly showed up. Coolio got right down to business, asking BTS some basic questions about the origins and history of hip-hop, whether it's because they were nervous or clueless, but the room got very quiet. The message was clear. There were lessons to be learned. And this is where you should see the character of RM and the rest of BTS. Instead of cowering, they rose to the occasion. There were lessons to be learned and they were willing to learn it. Since then, RM and the rest of BTS changed from being a boy band to being one of the most aware musicians in the world. Look, I'm not saying that AHL is the only thing that made them the kind of musicians they are now, but it is one of the most pivotal moments in their career. And it's not because of the kind of treatment that they got from the artists and the rappers that they met in AHL. It is because of how they responded to the challenge. Number 9, attacks from his physical appearance to death.
There's a pattern to genius. There's a method behind the magic.
Getting us.
I always tell people
What made this video was like, yeah.
July of 2015, during BTS's Red Bullet tour, death threats were made against RM across all social media. And I know that some people would just relegate it to a bad joke. But for a teenager like him trying to make a name in foreign lands, this is something very traumatic.
I feel like those things are so prevalent on Twitter because it like can't happen on Facebook and some of the other platforms.
You most definitely can't do that shit.
No, because you'll be gone and your accounts will be disabled.
That's crazy that people want
to. The stuff with Coolio, AHL, she was talking about, that some army like it, some don't, and being a pivotal moment. I think that's true for a lot of people's lives, that you might have the opportunity to be mentored by somebody that RM knows and potentially looks up to. Coolio, rapped a song, Gangsta's Paradise. I think that was the first rap song I ever knew. But I would never look to or up to Coolio in a way of like him being the one to show me the way. It's different when it's like Jay-Z or somebody who transcended the movement. I don't think that Coolio did.
It's just maybe just the popularity of the song though. That just how it got around. Maybe that might even be the biggest thing though.
Yeah, but if they hit that moment, we haven't seen that show with them in it, but they could have hit that moment and saw that as like they didn't like that. So I mean, that's what I was getting at. Is like there's probably moments in all of our lives where you have this great opportunity that turns up as like that actually wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it showed us potentially
pivotal, though,
who we didn't want to be. Some people look up to their parents, right, and say, "My dad paved the way and showed me exactly who I wanted to be." In my case, I love my dad. He was more of a friend, a best friend, than like a father figure. But he showed me exactly who I didn't want to be, which I think can be as impactful.
Yeah, it's super impactful. Super impactful. Yeah. Not my pops, but my step-pops, though.
Yeah.
Early episodes, gotta catch them.
September of 2015, Namjoon uploaded 2 selfies. So many people commented on his looks, calling him ugly. Racists hated him for his looks and dark skin, while anti-racist people hated him for his past actions, even though they were the past and that he already apologized for it. There were also a lot of infamous cases where people at fan events actually just flat out called him ugly. But
now, this is just me speaking because I know me. If I post a picture and I get comments like this, I would love it, because that's the kind of energy I feed off of, and I would love to I comment with you all day, back and forth.
Yeah.
But I'm good with shit like that though.
Yeah, well, it's different, I think, when you're an idol and it's going to come. So, we talk about that, the comments that we get on our videos. Yeah. Here they go again. Stuff like that where.
But those are, those are funny. We talk about those all the time, just so y'all know. We talk about.
But there are also comments like this in our own communities, in your community, especially when we talk about the black community and joking around and everything's a game and fun, where you might post a video and you'll get those comments. And whether they're the person's being truthful or whatever it might be, but it's more so just a joke.
It's a lot of truth in jokes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of truth in jokes. The funny ones especially, though. For real.
But in true RM fashion, he didn't allow it to faze him. He earned the respect of industries and institutions like Rolling Stone, the Grammy, and Billboard, to prove to everybody that no, he's not ugly. He is, in fact, one of the best musicians in the world. He is one of the most handsome men in the world. And he's a thoughtful, intelligent artist. Number 10, he opens up about depression. Like his decision to defy expectations by rapping instead of pursuing academic excellence, he defied social norm by openly talking about depression and suicidal thoughts. Asia was, still is, not very accepting of depression. Is usually relegated to being drama. Emotional support's primary source is supposed to be family, not clinical doctors, but...
The same as in African American community, black community, though.
Yeah. And in poverty as well. I think there is a difference too in the black community versus strictly poverty, but they say this is just a phase. I think about parenting too.
Pressure on
have siblings have ADHD, and my dad's approach was, you got to beat it out of them, right? I mean, that's the discipline piece. When I'm just thinking about the viewpoints, those hard viewpoints of people who don't know how to use their words to solve stuff.
And I think this is me speaking. People might feel differently. I think it's our generation that's changing the stigma about things like that, though.
Yeah.
Like ADHD doesn't deserve a whooping, or depression isn't just a phase. Like these are real things. So.
Yeah.
RM decided to shed light on the truth about depression. January of 2017, RM uploaded a song called Always. The lyrics are pretty graphic. Around the same time, fans discovered a song titled Suicide, also written by RM.
I don't believe they cheddar. Honestly, I'm falling up the ladder. Maybe this song will be my last.
Shortly after the release of the song, RM did say that does not represent his thoughts anymore. Uploading it was his way of moving on, saying goodbye to that part of his life.
대한 안녕이라고 해야 될까요? 그동안 슬펐던 제 자신에 대한 goodbye.
October of 2018, RM released his second album, Mono. Every song in the album marks a different place in RM's recovery and struggles with mental illness. Some songs, like Tokyo and Forever Rain, are a little darker, but it does end with hope. Number 11, Commitment to Performance. RM and Jin are known to be the least capable dancers in the group, but let me clarify that they are not bad dancers. They're just not as good as J-Hope, Jimin, and Jungkook. But come on, those three are some of the best in the world. So there should be a recognition that because dancing does not come natural to RM, he still needs to work 10 times harder as the dancers in the group just to keep up, because every performance is a gift to ARMY. And damn if he's the one that will destroy their performance. He always wants to give the best that he can to ARMYs, even if it means putting up more time inside a studio just to make it perfect. He doesn't even allow injuries and pain to get in the way of his performance. He knows and respects the fact that every person who appears in their shows and their concert spent their hard-earned cash just to watch them. So yeah, he's going to do everything he can to deserve that. Number 12, giving up the spotlight. Being the lone English speaker, RM could easily hog the limelight whenever they are in the US. Instead, he encourages other members to speak, even if it means slowing down the interview. Because to RM, his members are important. Their thoughts are important. Their voices are important. Other leaders will always hog the mic whenever they receive an award or they are in an interview, but not RM. He respects that everyone has the right to talk.
You guys taught me through your eyes, through your love, through your tweets, through your letters, through everything. You guys taught me and inspired me how to love myself. So I want to say one thing. Please use me. Please use BTS to love yourself.
Who made this?
So it's gonna take me a while to edit.
RM seems to have it all now, but again, his greatest curse and blessing is his awareness. He is aware of the impermanence of their
That's how you know this video just came
aware
out.
that for every wall they knock down, there's a
Oh,
much
the owner.
stronger one behind it. Aware that not everyone will recognize their legacy. Aware that they're humans. They evolve, they will change and move on. But RM wouldn't be able to lead BTS to where they are now if he is complacent. There are 2 more years before Jin has to enlist. Whether or not they will enlist together is still up in the air, but for now he is here, the leader, and will continue to put everything he has to do more. And no, you don't have to be a fan to respect RM. You just have to be human to recognize that RM's leadership, artistry, and humanity deserve to be recognized, appreciated, and respected.
있었어요. 약간 우리가 목표로 하던 것들보다 더 많은 거를 이뤘기 때문에 그래서 우리가
J-Hope looks sunburned.
이유나 막 그런 것들 얘기했었잖아요. 우리가 우리가 하고 싶었던 것보다 더 뭔가 높은 걸 이뤄서 이제 이제 뭐 하지? 이게 아니라 그동안 남들이 못했던 거를 남들이 가지 못했던 곳에 갈 수 있는 그냥 저는 그런 티켓을 끊었다고 생각을 하고 싶어요. 문을 열었다고. 어차피 우리는 앞으로 더 이거 할 거고 음악을 하고 무대 할 거기 때문에
Found one of the first videos we've seen about BTS where we could be somewhat critical about it.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Especially the black rapper part.
Especially a black rapper.
Especially.
Yeah, that just makes me question a little bit more about South Korea's views of black people.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about that before. It could be an assumption she's making too, as the narrator. You know.
I mean, as, how she said it sounded like
it was common knowledge. Common knowledge. I don't know. Based on the people commenting on our videos, it doesn't sound like it is.
No, not at all.
You know, she describes South Korea as very conservative, but people have said that the Democratic Index of South Korea is higher than the United States. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. And based on their actions from, we think about Spring Day and the Seoul Ferry stuff, and they impeach their own president and then imprison him and stuff like that. I mean, that sounds a little more democratic than.
Hopefully, maybe she was just. It didn't sound like it, but maybe she was just putting emphasis on. Especially.
Oh yeah.
Maybe she was putting emphasis on. Like I mean, I'm not feeling no kind of way because I don't fit into whatever the stereotype might have been or could be. So I'm not even. It's not a big deal to me.
I was reading an article earlier today, which is interesting that this video popped up for us to react to, and because I saw the picture that earlier in his career he was, I guess, criticized because he was wearing a uniform that somewhat matched the Nazi uniform.
I heard that.
And then obviously the misogynistic stuff, but yeah, some of the stuff I think happened in 2018, so not too far away, but. You know,
if this is true, like, I mean, I know it could be like off somewhere in there, but if this is true, this is real good. It's real good. I feel like it could have been like a little bit more in depth, just a little bit more, and it was speeding through like. But I would like to go like in depth or more on some of that stuff, like how his family treated him afterwards and stuff like that, and.
I think it highlights also our need or want to watch. There's a series of like 0 through 7 of like each individual member, but it's like Book Guardian or something like that. It's on our list to react to, but you know, we also want to listen to a lot more music.
Yeah, most definitely.
And we were getting ready to react to more of the music on the B album, and then this popped up, and I was like, let's just jump on it.
So it was somebody. You said somebody in the.
Somebody commented.
Shout out to you, commenter.
Yeah, it just popped up, so, you know, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let us know if it's true or not.
Hopefully it's for better.
Yeah.
Hopefully the information is like, it doesn't have to be spot on, but just hopefully it's right there. So
I think at the very least it adds to the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, because she brought up things that we're interested in talking about, you know, outside of BTS.
We would love, yeah.
You know, outside of BTS. You know, the things that...
I figured that Arden was a lovable guy, though. I figured he was.
Yeah, and I feel like it's unfortunate, too, that being an idol, probably in all societies, you know, has a lot to do with looks. And then it came to, like, performance of dance, and he's just, like, way up here in terms of, like, what he's thinking about and his own mission and vision for the group. And
people are here with their comments, like, oh, you're ugly.
Right. Man, but that's also why comedians, you know, they'll get on stage and be like, I already know I'm ugly.
So you can't even throw that in me. I don't know.
The Eminem rap, you know, where he's like, you know, he just describes.
I am. Yeah.
You just degrade yourself, and then there's nothing else to comment on. You know, it's that piece we talked about too. The earlier age you can be, to lose that fear of what's that?
I'm thinking of the word. I was already thinking of the word too.
Being embarrassed. Right?
For lack of a better word,
fear of embarrassment. You know, the better off you're going to be. You know, I think both of us have lost that fear a long time ago, but we still read the comments because we're critical of ourselves and our performance. So when we do see comments that say, "Wow, this was the best reaction to Spring Day I've ever seen or heard," you know,
that means a lot.
And we just started doing that, right? But that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know, we want to do that.
When we hear comments that are putting us down, they're funny though. Like I don't think we're ever like, oh my god, they said like, no way, nah. No. Like Charlie was saying, like Charlie's really good with that pen and paper. Like you don't want Charlie to comment back to you.
No, you don't want Terrell to do it in the middle of the night. I'll wake up. Terrell, as my dad used to say, Terrell, we need to have a talk. Terrell be like, all right, I'm not commenting anymore.
Cause it'd be like, you know, the comments be so they get good, they be good. And then for a while it was just like, okay, comment bad. And I was like,
Yeah.
let me just get one, Charlie. Let me just.
Well, we were probably also the other thing to reflect on, in which we do, is like we're in our own funks anyway, because of COVID, things going on at home, family, wife,
work.
whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that you're in that mood, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, for real, you know. But other army will comment too and say, you know, forget the haters, those people who are commenting.
Yeah, like we usually don't act like that. I don't know what part of the army they're from.
Yeah,
but that's not us.
Yeah, they're not real army. Right.
We don't do this over here.
I mean, because we get dislikes on all of our videos, but I think that's
I don't even look at those. I mean, I see them, but I just
I know. If you don't like the video, if you don't like any of our videos, you can dislike. Just leave us a comment too.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you know how long it took us to get a dislike though?
No, I know.
It took us a while because our video,
not until BTS.
Yeah, really though, yeah. No, Ginger.
Well, yeah. But we're also like getting like 70 views on a video, which sounded like a lot at the beginning.
It really did.
Yeah. But if you dislike the video, we'll just assume you don't like a white guy and a black person talking on
having
TV.
a conversation. He's the man, bro.
Thought I was wearing a MAGA hat.
You and the blagger.
All right, well, I'm glad we reacted to that.
That was good. That was great, man.
Tro, why don't you let them know what they should do?
So since we reacted to it, and we're probably the second ones, probably third now because somebody probably sped it up and whatever. But you have to like, comment, subscribe, continue to engage, share, and turn on notifications. Yes.
And as Jimin says, you nice. Keep
3.3.
going.